Hi everyone, welcome to Drawing Fundamentals. My name is Jonathan Appleby. What we'll be looking at in these drawing fundamentals is the basics of drawing. We won't be looking at color or anything like that, but just the ability to draw. So if anyone's been having problems trying to improve their drawing skills and everything, these drawing fundamentals should help, because who knows, maybe you haven't learned the fundamentals, and so that's why your drawing is not getting to the next level. So these videos should actually help you with that if you haven't learned it. But if you have learned it already, maybe it's something that that you haven't practiced as much, or even something that you've probably forgotten, but you've already learned it, and this might be just a reminder. Okay, so yeah, so with these I will be going through a few terms, and I'll be explaining what they are. It's always cool to know technical words and stuff. It makes you sound smart, but the whole all these videos on drawing fundamentals is mainly going to be focused on the practical side of drawing. Okay, first of all, the word draw actually means to pull. So when you actually hear people talking about drawing water from a well, they're actually pulling the water out of the well with a bucket or whatever vessel that they're using. And so when it comes to drawing, what you actually do is pulling. And let me show you what I mean. So that would be a pull right there. Okay, and let me just focus the camera properly. And you might be asking yourself, how do I know whether it's a pull or whether it's a push? Well, the easiest way that I've found of trying to figure that out is to use a brush. So what I have here is a brush pen, which is basically the same as a brush. So if you want to figure out whether it's a pull or a push, a pull will actually keep the bristles nice and pointy, just the way it like it is right now. So if I'm keeping the brush tip pointy, I'm actually pulling. Okay, because what happens when you push against the bristles, it actually spreads the bristles of the brush. Okay, as you can see, so you get a thicker line, and you have all these small marks that come out of the line because the bristles are spread, and so it marks the paper. And normally it's kind of wobbly when you push a line, but when you pull, a lot of times it's a lot straighter, and the lines are a lot finer, and so that's what drawing is, pulling. And that's how you figure out whether it's a pull or a push. Just see how you would use a brush. Okay, sometimes some people actually hold the brush like this, and it's still considered a pull because it keeps that point. Though you have to be careful at the end of the stroke if you're holding a brush this way. At the end of the stroke, what happens is, if you keep your finger on the paper, it has that that wobbly thing right at the end there, like a dot. So if you are holding a brush this way, just make sure you lift off before you stop. So lift off before you stop, and it'll give that nice end to your line there. So that's how you figure out whether it's a push or a pull. So drawing is all about pulling. So when you're drawing, you're pulling. So I'm holding my pencil. Either you hold it this way or you hold it this way, doesn't matter, but you're pulling your pencil across the page. Okay, you can be pulling it up, you can be pulling it down, but it's just all pull. And that's what drawing is. So quickly, there's two different ways of holding your pencils. There's I like to call them the organic hold and the mechanical hold. And it's just two terms just to differentiate between the two different types of hold. So an organic hold would be something like this. Okay, with this, it's good to use this type of hold if you're doing broad, like big strokes, and they'll give you nice straight line when you use those, or a nice gradual arc if you're doing an arc. So this type of organic hold is good for those broad, if you're trying to block in big masses, hold it this way. But if you're trying to do details, like once you've blocked in a mass and you're trying to draw, like for an example, an eye, and it's a really tiny one, holding it this way is a lot harder. So I just drew a small eye right there. You can hardly see it at all, but there's not much detail in it. If I was to hold it the mechanical way, this is good for drawing details. Okay, so there's the organic, and then there's the mechanical. This is good for details. This is good for general shapes and general blocking in. Now, when I talk about blocking in, what blocking in is all about is, for an example, I'll draw a really quick apple, just a cartoon baby apple. Okay, so this is what your kid would draw. So if I was to block in this apple, the term blocking in means basically to do like these blocky kind of straight lines, just to try and have a container for me to draw within. So from here, then I can begin to chip away at it more. And so that's basically what blocking in is all about. And this hold is good for that, okay? Because you can do those, broad strokes. And if there's a shadow area, like if there's shadow on this side, blocking in the shadow, you're just drawing the borderlines and just a quick, yeah. So this hold is good for that. So draw means to pull, and the way you figure it out, use a brush. And if you're keeping the brush tip nice and pointy, that means you're actually pulling it. And if you're spreading the bristles, then you know that you're actually pushing it. So that's how to figure out whether you're pushing or pulling. And the two types of hold there is the organic hold, and there's the mechanical hold. Okay, and that's it for the beginning. So in the next few videos, we'll be looking at how to make your strokes. Thanks.